Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Basketball Banter Show with me, your host, Matthew Valento. This is the first episode of the podcast. Welcome if you're new. Welcome to the channel. This is hosted by myself. Previously, I was host of the Basketball Maestros that I host with my good friend Daniel Rios, and this channel kind of serves as a creative outlet for myself to give me a chance to get back into this creative outlet that I gave myself about 2 years ago with the Basketball Maestros. And overall, I'll be honest, I did not stay consistent at all. I didn't hold myself accountable at all when it came to uploading on social media platforms and creating clips to post. And then just finding consistent times to record with Daniel and I. It's just been a lack of effort, to be transparent, on my part, but also just a lot of stuff going on in terms of education and finishing out school for my final semester. So it's just been a lot going on. But throughout the past few weeks, I've been, I guess, feeling that itch in a way. I kind of feel guilty giving up on this thing. I know some of my inspirations, Kenny Beecham, to be exact. He's kind of my number one inspiration. He hosts his own podcast, The Kenny Beecham Show, and one with all his friends called Numbers on the Board. That's also a very extremely successful podcast. And I just want to get back in the field and feel like I didn't give this thing 100% of my effort. And I feel like forcing myself to get back on the saddle, for a pretty old timey reference, and kind of give this thing a new shot, clean slate, and focus on this thing by myself and just talk about whatever I want to in the world of the NBA. No idea what the focus is going to be. You know me, I'm a Lakers fan. If you don't know already, big Lakers fan, and currently a staff writer for LakersNation.com. So everything in the basketball world revolves around the Lakers for me, but also like talking about other things going on in the association. And that was the purpose of the Basketball Maestros. So there's no structure to this podcast at all yet. So still trying to figure that thing out. Um, Also, schedule, not set in stone either. So once I start to have some downtime and kind of feel out what time and day fits with me best, I'll probably keep that in mind as well when coming up with a concrete schedule. But this thing is still very new. I'm still kind of gathering up all like the branding for this show as well, in terms of logo, and this is going up on a new YouTube channel as well, so I got to build that up. um, Possibly make new social media accounts as well. So it's a lot going on. So I got a lot on my plate for the next couple of days. But thankfully, it's the weekend by the time this is uploaded, so I'll have some time to get my things together and figure out um, how to get this show on the road. So kind of figuring everything out as we go. But as I figure out the scheduling and when I'm going to be uploading, I'll probably put that somewhere on this channel and on my social medias as well. So feel free to follow me on that. And then this will probably be out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well on a separate page. So I'm sure there will be a link to that in the description if you want to go check that out and leave a rating and comment about the podcast. And that'll be greatly appreciated. So I don't think this is going to be a particularly long first episode, kind of just a feeler for this one. And kind of the main topic, and probably the only topic I'm going to talk about, is the Lakers Clipper game that happened on Wednesday, and that featured a LeBron James masterclass in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Clippers by himself, scoring 19 points, and the Clippers scoring 16, where the Lakers came back down 21 in the fourth quarter and ultimately beat the Clippers in thrilling fashion. And for the Lakers, every game is a must win coming out of the All Star break as they're looking to get into the top six of the Western Conference. So there's a lot going on with the Lakers as usual. And it's kind of similar to last season where it was an uphill climb to the postseason, where their target was the top six, but they ultimately fell into the play-in tournament. They're hoping to get out of it this time around, but definitely an uphill climb. And for LeBron to go off in this magnitude comes at no better time than right now, especially being the Clippers, which the Lakers have struggled to beat for years now. First time winning this season series since 2011-12. So over a decade, it's been a long time coming and much needed for Lakers fans in general just to get that off their back and be able to say that we beat the Clippers in the season series for once in their lives. So very, very great win for the Lakers as they are now 33-28 on the season. And I'm recording this prior to when they face the Washington Wizards. So pray to God that they win that game. They should. All things considered, it looks like LeBron's going to give it a go again on a second night of back to back, which is greatly appreciated, as well as Lakers ramp up for the playoff race. And the grand scheme of things, talking about this game, is don't take a guy like LeBron for granted. I know there's plenty of haters out there and that like to dislike LeBron and how much glazing he gets on and off the court and all the media attention he gets, especially now being a Laker for the past few years. I can understand. I can understand how you may hate LeBron if he dogs on your team in the postseason like he did when he was on the Cavs and all that jazz. But I kind of correlate this to Tom Brady in a way. I know for me personally, I'm more of a casual NFL fan, but I could not stand the Tom Brady GOAT conversations and how much media attention he got towards the final year or two of his career in the NFL. So I kind of correlate that to LeBron in the NBA, where people just don't like the media attention he gets. And you're seeing it now with Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift. I know that's a sore spot for many in the USA and especially for me. But when it comes down to it, you got to put your biases aside and realize how great these athletes are. And LeBron, who's 39 years old, who is defying father time somehow. Um, and he's still looking great in his 21st season. And there's still at least, I want to say, 1 to 2 more guaranteed seasons left in the tank, which is just remarkable and a testament to how he treated his body throughout all this time through the regular season and plenty of postseason games that he's played in his career. And it's just insane and mind boggling how he's able to do this on a year to year basis. And two, I'm looking at the stats right now, put up 34 points, 13 for 21 from the field, 7 for 12 from three, and just absolutely exploding in that fourth quarter. It was insane to see 5 of those threes coming in the fourth quarter. Just insane shot making. He's been a great jump shooter this year, shooting a career high from three for the first time in his career. And he's just completely reworked his game since aging. And it's been great to see. And he and Anthony Davis have been remarkably healthy, which is great to see. Hasn't resulted in the record that they want, but it bodes well heading into the postseason if they get there, whether that be through playing or the top six. Having those two guys healthy heading into the whatever postseason play that they have is going to be great for them. And it is great to see as a Laker fan to see these two guys stay healthy and be able to play meaningful basketball despite LeBron aging and almost at 40 years of age. It's just remarkable. And he's just personally the GOAT, man. I just don't see how he's not. Probably a little bit of bias on my part, but I mean, just nobody's played at this high of a level and sustained it throughout their whole career. And LeBron's doing that right now. And as he's been such a physical player throughout his whole career, getting downhill, finishing in the paint, thunderous dunks, and all of that, he's been able to rework his game while there's still games where he throws down highlight dunks and able to get downhill at a very high pace and speed. It's still great to see, but he's still mainly a jump shooter here in his 21st season, which is really great to see as his jump shooting throughout his career has been up and down, kind of middle of the pack average. So it's great for LeBron and his career and being able to still be effective at this high of a level in his 21st season. I know I'm kind of rambling. There's really no structure to this show, but it's really great to see. And hopefully for the Lakers, it kind of pans out and able to pick up a win of this magnitude and kind of sustain it over the remaining however many games are left in the season. It's really great. And this March schedule is going to be grueling. I'm going to pull up their schedule right now and kind of rattle off some names as again, they're most of these games are going to be at home, I believe, but you're playing against some pretty great opponents. Obviously, you play the Wizards tonight at the time of this recording. Hopefully, they win that game. You play Denver, Oklahoma City, Sacramento, Milwaukee, Minnesota. All those games are at home, thankfully. You go to Sacramento for one game, and then you come right back home for Golden State, Atlanta, Philly, Indiana, and then you head out on the road for a little bit and play Milwaukee, Memphis, Indiana, and Brooklyn, Toronto, and the Washington Wizards to close out into early April. So it's a pretty grueling stretch, but on the bright side, the Lakers are at home, so that kind of helps. And if they're really serious about getting into the postseason, they got to pick up a good chunk of wins there. Um, Again, thankfully, they got a nice little homestand coming up, so should bode well in their favor. But injuries have been a pretty consistent theme throughout this entire season. Missing Jared Vanderbilt. Thankfully, Cam Reddish came back, still without Gabe Vincent. Christian Wood still out for at least another week and a half. So, still missing some pretty decent role players. Gabe Vincent, I'm kind of skeptical on if he's ever going to come back at this point. But it's going to be interesting to see. There's still a lot of movement here in the Western Conference, and it's pretty insane. It's setting up to be another pretty nuts finish where there's going to be movement basically every single day. And seeds 5 through 10, there's still a lot of movement to be made. The top four seem to be pretty locked in. There could be some flip flopping there, but the top four look to be the top four with Minnesota, OKC, Denver, and the Clippers. And yeah, the Phoenix Suns, who are kind of occupying that 5 seed. But overall, it's going to be a pretty crazy season to finish this thing out. Kind of just rambling here, but overall, that's kind of just going to be the short first episode. Don't really want to ramble on for too much as I don't want to get too caught up into things. But actually, sorry, this is really bad podcasting, but I'm going to pull up my predictions from before the season started. And there's a lot of things wrong with this ranking that I made. Again, really bad podcasting. I apologize. If you are a audio listener, I apologize as well. But I just want to share my rankings from this season. I'm gonna pull these up right now. Share my screen. Here we go. And here they are. Here are the standings that I've made specifically for the Western Conference. Very interesting list. Denver, number one. It kind of made sense at the time. The defending champions. And then diving into number two, the Memphis Grizzlies. Yikes. Did their season absolutely implode right before their very eyes? Yeah, John Morant out for the season now. Desmond Bain out for the foreseeable future. Jaren Jackson's been in and out of the lineup. Just all their key players picking up pretty crucial and long-term injuries, and it's just completely derailed their season, sitting at 20-39, the bottom half of the conference, playing a bunch of two ways and G League guys at this point in time. So, very unlucky finish to the season for the Memphis Grizzlies, as they'll be missing the playoffs. Number three, the Lakers. I don't think this was too crazy of a take at the time. Granted, how they were viewed in the offseason with all their moves, and it just hasn't clicked. The Lakers have been deemed inconsistently um, or consistently inconsistent, and just rotations, lineups, Darvin Ham issues, player issues, injuries, subpar play, up and down play, inconsistent play, just everything you can think of happened for the Lakers this year. And they're viewed as a contender. They have the narrative that nobody wants to see them in the playoffs, which is true, but you never know what Lakers team you're getting every day. So it's going to be interesting to see how they finish down this end of the season. But don't think this was too irrational at the time. Sacramento, again, I didn't think this was too bad of a take at the time, but they're currently 33-25, sitting in the play-in at the eighth seed. Again, they've kind of just been inconsistent at points of time during the season, whether that be just pretty bad losses, inconsistent play from role players. But De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis have been pretty the anchors of that team, and they've been pretty consistent for the most part. But the Kings have, again, similar to the Lakers, they ran it back, but just struggled to figure it out up to this point with how they play day in and day out. So that's overall how the Kings are looking. The Thunder, I knew they were going to be good heading into this season, but I didn't think they were going to be this good. 41-17, half a game out of the first seed in the West. Pretty nuts. Um, Obviously, SGA has just been remarkable. Chet's been great. J Dub taking that next leap as everybody hoped he would. He's just been great for the Thunder as well. Picking up Gordon Hayward, hopefully that move pans out for them as well. He's still working his way back from calf injury, so hopefully he's able to ramp up his minutes leading up to the postseason, because I think they're going to need a little bit of veteran presence and scoring off that bench if they want to advance a couple of rounds in the postseason. So that'll be interesting to see. Clippers, I was pretty down on heading into this season. That was before the James Harden trade, and James Harden is a Clipper, and he has really helped that team out. 37-20, sitting at the fourth seed currently. So they're definitely going to be in that 1 through 4 mix, however they finish. But great season from the Clippers. They've always been a great regular season team, but it's just about the postseason and figuring things out from there. And for Phoenix, they're kind of right where I envisioned them. The big three has really struggled to stay on the floor, specifically Bradley Beal. He's just been dealing with all sorts of ailments throughout this entire season and currently out for with a hamstring injury. And there's no I assume he's going to be returning somewhat soon. No clue when that is. But for the Suns, it's about getting the big three healthy. And that was the issue with the Brooklyn Nets a couple seasons ago. You just can never, ever get healthy. And another team I was completely wrong on is Minnesota. They're sitting at the 1 seed right now. And Cat and Rudy Gobert have figured it out and has continued to be that number one guy in Minnesota. And they've been able to make it work. Give them credit. Chris Finch has been a great coach for them, specifically on the defensive end, being a top, I believe they're number one, I want to say, or at least top 5 in defense. So that's great for them as well. And then Golden State, they've been pretty up and down as well. Steph Curry has been the driving force of that team. Klay Thompson recently getting allocated to the bench for the foreseeable future. So there's just a lot going on. Draymond Green suspensions. Chris Paul, he recently came back. He dealt with a lot of injuries for the season. So Golden State, hopefully they've been playing better heading into the All-Star break and coming out of it. They've been pretty solid, a lot better than the first half of the season, which is good to see if you're a Warriors fan. And then Dallas, I have them at the 10th seed in this. They're currently sitting at the 7th seed. And Luka Doncic, he's my MVP pick. For LakersNation.com, we wrote an article about all the in-season awards, all the season awards like MVP, DPOY, and all that. I had Luka as my MVP, and he's kind of lived up to that. He's definitely playing at MVP level. Him and Kyrie have played great. Kyrie has just struggled to stay on the floor. Luka's missed a couple of games, so they've just missed each other playing, but they seem to be getting more time on the court, which is good. And I really like their deadline. I really liked PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford. And in those first couple of games, they showed how great fits they are for the Dallas Mavericks and what they're able to provide if they get into the postseason. But yeah, I really like the direction Dallas is going. They got some good weapons around their two stars, despite having limited assets and money to give free agents. So overall, I think they did a great job. And whether things fall apart again remains to be seen. But overall, I think they're doing really well by putting in really great role players around their stars. So Dallas is a really fun team to watch outside of the Lakers. Well, the Lakers can't be fun sometimes, but as a fan of basketball, I think Dallas is a really fun team to watch. And if Dallas is able to creep into the top six, I think Luka can very easily snag that MVP award. But personally, I think he's my MVP. And then the bottom half of the conference is kind of about right. New Orleans, currently number 6. So I guess I was a little wrong about that. I kind of wasn't buying into BI, CJ, and Zion all staying healthy, and they stayed pretty decently healthy up to this point. CJ, BI, and Zion have all missed their time here and there, but not as much as I would have thought heading into the season. So overall, pretty up and down predictions for the Western Conference this season. The West is set to be a crazy, crazy finish, and overall, I cannot wait to see how everything pans out. Postseason basketball is always super fun to watch, and very excited to see how things turn out, and specifically with the Lakers, and see how they finish. Whether they're able to get out of the plane or not remains to be seen. But I just want to see my team play in the postseason. That's truly all I want at the end of the day. So I think that'll about do it for this episode. Very short episode. As I mentioned, I don't want to drag this on too long. But if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe. This is a whole new channel, so gonna have to grow this baby and be more active on it, get some clips out, make sure to grow this thing as much as I can. Don't know if I'll make social media accounts for this show at the time of the dropping of this episode, but if I did, check out the description and look at the Instagram, TikTok, and check those out. Give those a follow as well. And yeah, very excited to see how things pan out. Hopefully, I hold myself accountable this time, able to really give the podcasting field a true shot and not give up after a few months. So hopefully I stay consistent, giving myself a creative outlet to talk about basketball. I've been missing it. I'm not going to lie. Just been a struggle trying to find some time and sit down and record. So let's see how this thing turns out. The only thing we can do is try, and hopefully putting in my effort will get me somewhere. But yeah, this is the end of episode 1 for Basketball Banter with Matthew Valento. Thank you for listening. Again, truly appreciate it. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this episode. And I'll see you whenever I see you. The schedule is not finalized, so I will see you whenever I do. And I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.